Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.
So welcome to the Daily Debate. Today we're going to be talking about Wilfred Ndidi off to Besiktas. Did I say that right? Yeah. Besiktas?
Yeah.
I don't know what everybody thinks about that. Who wants to start off with that? Reedy, what do you reckon?
Well, obviously the rumours came out last night that Leicester accepted a bid of 9.5 million. Apparently so. Yeah, I think Ben Jacobs came out yesterday and said that we accepted a bid for 9.5 million. They did say it still had other inquiries to him, so he's not going to just go straight to them. He has got to look around, see what other bids come in, but we have accepted it. So for me, he's not been as good as we know he has been for the last 3 or 4 years now with injuries and all that. So I'm happy to get rid. I don't think it'd suit the system we're playing this season, if I'm totally honest. I know he suited the Enzo system because he was playing probably more advanced role, but we know Ndidi being that sort of defensive midfielder, and I don't think he would suit this year. So happy to let him go. For 9.5 million, I think that's a good deal for us because it's a lot of money for us.
Yeah, but I mean, a couple of years ago, he was linked to Manchester United for around 50 million. So it's not. Well, we all know Wilfred Ndidi back like 3 or 4 years ago was an unstoppable player. Everyone's saying just like a taller Kante. But in the past couple of seasons, he has dropped off massively. But I think after he came back from injury, it never really looked the same.
How old is he?
I think he's like 26, 27.
No, I think he's pushing 30 now at this point. I think
I'll find it out.
He's spent probably the best part of 8 years at Leicester, I'm pretty sure. I think he's around 28, 29.
But yeah, carry on, Jake, you were saying.
28.
28?
Yeah.
God,
He's been with us for
quite a older than 28.
He's been with us for about 8 years.
Yeah, he's been for us a while now. So
Yeah,
he came as
young lad, didn't he?
Yeah. And look, he did look good. I'd say in the first 2-3 seasons when he was here.
He had a couple of injuries, hasn't he?
He's had a couple pretty decent sized injuries. I think if we can get what they're offering, I'd take it. By the sounds of it, we're just waiting, like Reedy said, on Ndidi to accept the offer himself personally. So
I didn't realise it was an actual. Has it been a formal offer then?
Apparently so. Again, Fabrizio came out and said that Besiktas had put an offer in, and then Ben Jacob basically said straight after it, Leicester's accepted the bid. It's just he's got a few other apparently people interested in him, so he's going to pick what he wants. He's not going to just go straight to them.
Is he out of contract as well at the end of this year, or has he got another?
I think my understanding is that obviously
no, he's not. I think he's until 2027.
But I think he has got, because last summer you got to remember he left us, didn't he? It was his end of his contract. He went for free, but then nobody took him. So I was surprised he came back. It was kind of like, I'm guessing nobody else wanted to have him and offer him the wages because he was free, wasn't he?
I think so. Yeah.
So when he came back, I believe his new contract was like there was an escape clause in it. Was if we got relegated, then things were a bit more open to him leave. But I reckon 8 or 9 million for him after everything that's gone on. 9.5 million. Is that pounds or euros?
I think £1 million. Yeah.
Well, I think that's okay because you're getting 9 million quid. You're getting him off your wage books, and then you can go up because we're at the stage now in the pre-season where we kind of need to start seeing some incomings. We need to have some players coming into the squad and getting rid of some of these players where you go, yeah, you've probably run your course at Leicester. I mean, there's a couple of players like Faze and maybe Vestergaard, Daka.
You've got to remember, Ndidi, he didn't want to be here.
Well, no,
he got relegated in his contract ran out. He was fishing other clubs and no one else wanted him. So we signed him. We gave him a contract again.
I mean, he kind of like I think Reedy said there, it kind of feels like he's not quite fitted into the team. His style of play over the last, even on the Enzo, he was playing in a role.
I don't think
he came off kind of under Enzo.
I don't think any of the defensive midfielders have. I think the style that we want to play requires you to have a Rodri type player
Not just that, but you need
really
to have somebody.
facilitate
You need somebody who can
style.
pass as well.
Well,
and
just
who can do
you
that.
need a top quality midfielder, which is we're not going to get, and we don't have. Even when we sell Ndidi, Skip, Sumari, Winks, none of them are. They're not top quality to be consistent enough, even in the Championship. So for me, this is where you do need to bring in a new midfielder to facilitate the style we want to play. So I think it shows, that the teams like Man City who do try and play this more possession-based football, it really does work and holds down well when you have one of the best defensive midfielders in the world who knows how to pass it and knows how to defend it. So that is what it all comes down to, is the midfield players creating the space. We've just not had that. None of our midfielders have been good enough. They've all been too, I guess you'd say, one-dimensional. I think Ndidi's the same. I think he's been great as a defensive midfielder, and we saw that, 5 years ago. But when we've tried to switch it to this new system, a new style, it's just not worked. You probably say Winks is the only one that could facilitate it in the Championship, because he did 2 seasons ago. But Sumari and Skip, they're both pretty unproven.
He did all right for us under Enzo.
Different style though.
He played in the attack.
They didn't trust him to play as the defensive.
It wasn't really his forte,
really.
was it? But he did okay. He did quite well in some of the matches.
He did okay, and he got injured again.
Yeah,
he did okay for the first half of the season, then he got injured. So
he's not necessarily a passer. He's someone who just nicks the ball.
He just wins the ball.
He's just Kante.
Well, like the song goes, he'll take the ball
really
off
want
you.
Kante to be the attacking midfielder. He's a reliable defensive midfielder, and we've not really.
When you have that sort of midfield, when we had the Yuri Tillemans, Maddison, and Ndidi, you had a mixture of all 3 different qualities in all 3 of them players.
Yes.
You had a defensive, a good midfielder where you could play the ball anywhere, and then you've got a creative player in front of both of them. Whereas now you are looking at kind of the 2 kind of sixes who can pass the ball outwards instead of it being you're sitting there, just get that ball.
You're classing Winks and Skip as those 2.
I'd rather say someone like Winks and Ricardo, but again, because we've not seen Ricardo, like even yesterday.
Is he injured again? Do we know?
Oh, I think he is, yeah. But
apparently Christensen's out for a long time as well.
Is he?
Yeah, he's had a bust up in the training ground, done something to himself.
But over the last...
Hurt himself. He's injured out.
Yeah, he's hurt himself in training.
But yeah, over the last few seasons, we've seen that the midfielders now we need haven't been that much more of a defensive player, but more the player who can keep the ball and pass it outwards.
Was Chowdhury dropping into that role yesterday?
I think we just need to find someone to sit in that role rather than trying to do these inverted fullback snacks. You got Pereira, who's way too unreliable now. He's obviously getting a bit too old and too injury prone to be playing in that position. For me, you can't
rely on Ricardo Pereira.
Winks, Sumari, Skip, all of them. If you look at all of them, maybe Skip is an out-and-out defensive midfielder, but you look at Sumari and Skip, and you probably say, well, they're not out-and-out defensive midfielders. They don't just generally sit as the defensive midfielder. I think we just need to bring someone in that, you've got your attacking midfielders like El Kanous. If he's going to stay, then he's your attacking midfielder. You just need a reliable defensive midfielder for me, and I still don't think we have that.
I'm okay with this season for it to be Chowdhury. I'm okay for it to be Chowdhury though, because I think Chowdhury could, if we want to do any form of inverted, I think he can do that to a certain extent. Because
from what we saw yesterday, he didn't ever go into.
We shouldn't be doing inverted though, because it doesn't work.
Well, we definitely will be doing
it just doesn't work for us. You saw it
in the Championship
when you're going attacking football. That's how Cifuentes is going to play.
Yeah,
he's going to push one of the fullbacks in particular on, or even one of the centre backs. It might even be both, but at different times.
The difference with the difference with a defensive-minded midfielder is, I see it now as more of you need that player if you're not having the ball as much. If you've got the ball more, you don't need that defensive-minded midfielder to win that ball back, because you can have the ball. Like Ricardo, who was in that midfield, because they're holding the ball so much, they don't need someone there to defend it.
Yeah, but you're relying on us not losing the ball, which we will.
Well, no, but in the Championship, last time out, we had majority of possession nearly every single game.
We didn't in the last time in the Championship. We didn't need Ndidi, where Ndidi's best role is, because it doesn't suit this style of play under Enzo and Cifuentes, and even under Brendan towards the end. Ndidi's role is right. I'll have one attacking midfielder. I'll have one defensive midfielder.
I still think we just need someone reliable.
Positions have kind of changed.
I think if we're selling Ndidi, for me, that we do need to sign a new midfielder.
Yeah, and I'd say someone like Josh Brown, it would be perfect.
Whoever it is, you just need someone that's more reliable, because at the moment, including El Kanous, you don't know how he's going to do. So far, he's been pretty unreliable for us, and Skip, Sumari, Winks, they've also all been.
I think the jury's out a little bit on Skip and Winks. I think El Canoes, if he stays, is going to have
Winks can win the
hopefully a good
championship.
championship.
Yeah, again,
But did Winks look overly interested yesterday?
I think he looked better than Skip by a mile.
Yeah, I think Skip wasn't great, and I think Sumari. I don't
That
think
shows.
Sumari will be here by the end of the transfer window.
I don't think Sumari did that bad last.
No, but I think he'll go either way. I don't think he'll want to.
I actually don't think he will.
I can only assume Sumari didn't want to stay last time we got relegated. So I would assume he doesn't probably want to be in the championship.
I don't think
now.
I think mindset's different in a way of like, because obviously when we saw the team sheet yesterday against Fiorentina, we saw Sumari in the team and people were saying, "Oh, is Cifuentes actually maybe open to using him more in this sort of system?"
Who's that?
Sumari. Again, we didn't think he'd be a starter this season, but again, he started him yesterday. I don't know how much he's going to take into it going into next weekend, but there was a lot of players there you'd think, like Vestergaard, you want to put him into that first team.
Well, I think we did.
Well,
I think we did. This is part of the debate we had last week. I want to keep on Ndidi, but we did say last week that Ben Nelson, I think, will get used this season, but the manager will probably revert to safety, which is like Vestergaard and Coley are seasoned.
I don't think Vestergaard had a bad game yesterday. It was just more the point of there was a few people. I would say when we posted the team sheet, people were saying, "Oh, what's he doing there?"
Who's Vestergaard?
Not just that, not just Vestergaard, Skip, Sumari, and all that. But again, the managers come in and pick players. Yeah,
I was a bit disappointed, I think, with the game yesterday because I watched the majority of it, not all of it, but I thought Fiorentina were not very good. Whether that was just we played well or what, I don't know. I don't know if they had their full team out.
Well, they did.
They were not good. No. I don't think that was a very good last preseason test for us. I think it would have been nicer if they did play.
They're a higher standard than anything else we've played.
Yeah, I just don't think
it wasn't their full team by a long way.
They brought their full team out in the second half.
Yeah, and brought it a lot closer. But listen, let's stick to Ndidi. Are we all kind of saying that? We're all happy with 9-10 million
to some extent.
Or would you keep him?
I'm happy for him to go for the price. I think we need to replace him though.
Yeah.
Whether it's replacing him as an out-and-out defensive midfielder, or bringing in this Brownhill from Burnley, or free.
Is that what he is? Is he an out-and-out?
He's not a DM.
No, he's
more of a box-to-box midfielder. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, rather than just taking the money and running with it, I think we need to add to the squad. I think there's only so much you can rely on some of these players. I mean, for example, if you look at the players individually, Skip. Is he good enough? We'd all probably say, well, he's clearly, his confidence is right down there. He's not playing very well.
Yeah, but he should be able to cope with the championship.
Samari, you say the same. Is he asked? Does he want to play? Who knows?
His style,
but he should be good enough. Winks should be good enough. But is he going to down tool if things start going wrong again? Is he going to throw his dummy out the pram again, like he did last season? Because we know he did.
He shouldn't do, but he might do.
So for me, you've got three midfielders who are fairly inconsistent, mentality-wise. You don't know how they're actually going to play. Like I say, if things start to go wrong, all three of them could say, well, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be playing right now. Winks could say, sorry, Cifuentes, I'm off. I don't want to play.
Winks?
Yeah. Like he did with Rude.
I mean, I am surprised. I know you talked about Conor Cody on Friday, but I was surprised we got something in for Conor Cody. I can't.
No, I don't mean leave. I mean, I think that Winks could have an attitude change where if it just starts going wrong, he could,
You'd like to just think that was a personality clash with him.
Yeah, but he did it under Cooper though, didn't he? Because he got injured in that game. Then the same evening he's out there holding Enzo, we miss you sign. So and then he stopped playing under Rude. So for me, as much as we only know it on a surface level, it looks at from social media and what we see that he has an attitude problem, and he definitely is one of those players that could down tool.
Yeah,
I'm like Sam said, I'm happy for us to sell Ndidi for the 9.5 million if we reinvest it.
Yeah.
And some more to get some.
This is the problem.
I don't think we will.
This is the problem. This is the problem, though. If you do get rid of Ndidi for 9.5 mil, and you've obviously got them at 2 million from Cody, if we know and hear that we have to sell before we buy, that's only 11.
They've said that.
No, I know. I'm saying, but if that's true, and we haven't got any, we've got no money. If we've got no money other than the assets we've sold, right now we've got 11 million. That's not going to be able to buy you a striker or a midfielder.
I think a lot of our PSI issue came down to wages, not necessarily.
No, I get that, yeah.
Leicester City as a company has money. King Power has money. We could go and spend 40 million if we were allowed to, I imagine, on a player. We have money. It's just whether, I think a lot of it is to do with the wages and the squad size. So now we got rid of 2. I think there's no excuse now not to bring, we have.
No, I get the point of it. And again, we might have some more money now. Like I say, the amount of wages we've got out the door in the last week or so, and obviously from the last season when Vardy and Ward left, we've got rid of a lot of wages.
Yeah, probably got rid of 200 grand's worth of wages.
Even more than that, if you think about it. Yeah. Vardy was on what? 100 minimum,
including Vardy. Yeah.
And then you've got Ward, and you've got Cody.
Cody was meant to be on 80 or 90.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then Ndidi. Ndidi's probably not on anywhere near.
I would think Ndidi was on 50.
No, I think he was on about 80.
He might have been given more because he's in a new contract. Yeah. But I agree.
Ward was stealing.
40 odd. There's a lot of you're probably talking about $250,000 a week on player wages going.
At least it's probably about 400,000.
So when you look at it that way, and then if you add Vardy to the mix, I mean Vardy was like 150 grand.
Yeah, so 140, I think.
I think it was 140.
140. But when you look at that, we've already freed up wages, so it is a bit. For me, we're getting to that stage now where I know the window's open until the end of this month, I think, and then it closes on the 1st. We need to start bringing in players to fit into the system now.
I mean, Terry, I don't think we're going to have that many players. When it comes to it, I think we are trimming down, and
we are. But this one, I'm happy with
the Mongers, Jake Evans, etc. The lads from the academy will bolster it out.
I'm happy that we're doing that though. I prefer us getting rid of the likes of Cody and Ndidi, because if they're not being used as much, there's no point in. I get the point of maybe an off game for like a cup game or whatnot, but you need a team that's a bit more together instead of having loads of different voices in the room or a lot of different players that you just don't really get into the team. It's
who's captain of the club?
I don't know.
It was all I can say is Charlie was captain yesterday. So
are we doing this again, where we have another season where there is no one out captain?
Because we don't have the players anymore.
To be fair, that's the topic for. Let's have that as tomorrow's topic. Who should be captain and why? Because I think it's bullshit when a manager says, "I'm not." Who was it? I think was it Enzo actually?
Enzo.
I'm not picking.
It was about 4 or 5 players,
and I'm like, no. Let's have a leader out there who's in charge.
Rude did it.
Let's pick a captain.
That's gonna be hard though.
So let's have a topic tomorrow on that. Who should be captain and why? Because I think
it would have been Ndidi if you ask me, but if he's going,
I mean, Ndidi
even if he stayed, it wouldn't have been him.
It would have, just because he's the most experienced.
I don't. If Ndidi goes, I'd like to say I don't think he's ever let us down. I think he's always he's got injured, and I think at his peak for us, he was one hell of a player. I think we haven't, considering he's only 28, like I said, Jay. I think maybe his injuries have curtailed what could have been a, like you said, link with Barcelona at one point.
Yeah, they've definitely slowed him down.
Yeah, I mean, he was linked to go, and then he got injured. So I think, well, you never know. I mean, he could have done the same thing at Barcelona if he'd have gone and not done very well. He's done fine for us. I think, the past.
We did really good for us.
The past 4 or 5 years, he's been a player where you go, yeah, he has his moments, but then sometimes you look, you go, I don't know how this guy is playing Premier League football at the time, because I think his passing ability is not really quite there. Yeah, I think he's sort of a bit of a one trick, and I think for the modern age of football, he's not really.
He's not a technically gifted player. All he can do is basically win that ball back and head the ball. He's an old-fashioned defensive
midfielder. Yeah, I think that's it.
In the new age, you need a player who can be a bit more defensive, but have a great.
You don't need to have a player like that. You just need Ndidi to fit the right style. We've obviously, shifted the way we want to play, and it doesn't suit Ndidi. But it would suit most clubs that obviously don't want to facilitate this kind of football, because not every team wants to play possession-based. I guess if you want to call it tiki-taka football, trying to outplay teams. And Ndidi, for me, if he joined the right team, I still think he could.
I think he'd be quite.
I think a bit like we said with Vardy. I think Ndidi's fallen into that same category of we're trying too much with the players that don't facilitate the style, because they were brought in to play a different style.
Perhaps a square pegging around.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Vardy was the same kind of thing. He was a counter-attacking striker.
Yeah.
And even though he could still somewhat do it in the passing football, he was never as good as when we won the Premier League and when we did play counter-attacking football. I think Ndidi was the same when we played more. Had that well, we need to replace Kante. Yeah, and we brought in Ndidi and Mendy, and it's like, well, they are just your out and out defensive midfielders, but they were solid at it. But then when we shapeshifted into this other style of football, I think you could see it doesn't suit them.
Besiktas, I don't think would be a dream move, which is probably like why he's saying he's waiting to see if anybody else does it. Because if they come in and triggered his release clause, and Leicester are saying thumbs up, yeah, we'll sell you to
in the last 2 weeks, he was linked with Hoffenheim and another German club.
The thing is,
but they're not. But I don't think he's going to find that move that.
No, he'll go here because they'll pay. Turkey have at the moment. Obviously their football rules are weird. You've seen a lot of big players go there. The wage is crazy different over there. So again, they're probably offering him the same, if not more, as to what he's on at Leicester at the moment.
He's not going to get. He's not going to get like a Man United move anymore. I don't think.
No, but he's going to get probably £100 a week move. Going to Preseason because they just offer crazy money over there at the moment. So
fair play to him if he gets it.
And they are in like they are going to be in Europe, aren't they? So.
Yeah, probably. I've not checked, but I would assume they're Europa League, aren't they?
Probably.
Fair play to them. Josh says, was that you yesterday, Reedy? You nearly got the ball, put it up in your top in P block. You put the ball up in your top.
Yeah, one of the foreign players booted it up. And another guy caught it and rolled it down the line of the chairs. And he was like, put it under your top. So I did it. And the moment I did it, one of the stewards was like, right, give it back.
Having that.
Yeah. So
they've got you on cameras, really. They're going to have you out. You're a troublemaker.
No. I was only joking anyway.
I bet he wasn't. But he was trying to nick it. Anyway.
How did someone notice me there?
He spotted you.
Although
maybe.
You never know.
Maybe you're on Crime Watch. Have you seen this man who's nicked our ball?
You'll be there on the
only a football
on the boards, the TVs when we go next Sunday. Don't let this man in.
Anyway, listen, lads. It sounds like generally everybody's fairly okay with Ndidi going. I still think we'd be stronger with him than without, but I also know we need to shift him on and get some things. So. Listen, thanks for joining us on the Daily Debate. Don't forget tonight, I'm doing my show, the Foxes Fan Zone show, which is on at 7:30 tonight. Later this week, we've got Foxes Focus on Thursday. Jamie and Sam will be doing a tactics talk on Friday at 1 o'clock. And of course, the Aftermath show will be a bit of a preview before the match on Sunday. So join me tonight at 7:30. Lots to talk about. We'll go through the Fiorentina match and we'll start looking forward to who's going to stick around and be part of the team on Sunday. So thanks, everybody. I'll see you tonight, 7:30. Join me. I'll have Chris from Leicester Till I Die on as well with me tonight. See you later.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.